What, is she complaining again? Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. Now, most small business owners think of employee complaints as problems or disruptions, maybe even personal attacks, especially if you're the one the complaint is about, or the one who's going to have to fix whatever's wrong. And I get it. When you're building something from scratch, when your business feels like an extension of you, it's hard not to take every piece of criticism personally. But here's the shift that changes everything. Complaints are not insults. They're information. They're data. They tell you something about your culture, your systems, or your leadership. They shine a light on something you might not have seen, something that might not be working as well as you thought. And the real risk isn't that someone complained. The real risk is how you respond. Because that's what determines whether you build trust or break it, whether your team feels safe being honest with you, or whether they start keeping things to themselves. And let me be clear, this isn't just about compliance or avoiding legal trouble. Yes, there are risks if you mishandle a serious issue, but even more than that, this is about leadership maturity. It's about learning how to respond, not react. One of the most common mistakes I see is taking a complaint personally, especially when the complaint is about you. That little voice kicks in. Wait, they said what about me? And before you even realize it, your posture shifts. You're no longer listening to understand. You're listening to defend. You're getting ready to explain, correct, or shut the whole thing down. And the danger with that is once your ego steps into the room, the other person's experience disappears because you've made it about you. But it isn't a performance review for you. It's feedback about how your team is experiencing the culture or the systems or the leadership in your business. And whether you agree or not, they're telling you something real. So instead of getting defensive, take a pause, breathe, stay curious, and ask yourself, what am I being invited to learn here? Another mistake, and it happens all the time, is downplaying the complaint, thinking it's not a big deal, they're just being dramatic, or they're overreacting. That mindset kills trust, because whether you think it's minor or not, it was big enough for them to speak up. And speaking up is not easy, especially in a small team where every relationship matters and power dynamics are real. When someone comes forward and you dismiss it, you're not just brushing off the issue, you're sending a message that feedback doesn't matter here, that people should just suck it up or stay quiet. And that message is going to spread fast. So what's a better move? Well, thank them. Say, I appreciate you bringing this to me. Let them know you're going to look into it, and then look into it. Don't sit on it. Don't assume it'll go away, because small problems don't shrink with time. They grow. They grow into resentment or turnover, or HR nightmares, or worse, lawsuits. Handle the small stuff now so it doesn't become something that you just can't manage later on. Now, let's talk about something a little sneakier, the gossip trap. As a small business owner, you probably don't have a huge HR team. Maybe you have a consultant, maybe not. So when you're blindsided by a complaint, it's tempting to want to process it with someone. Maybe your assistant, maybe your bookkeeper, maybe a team member you feel close to. Don't do it. Even if you're just venting, that vent becomes a risk. Because once you say it out loud, it can be repeated, it can be misunderstood, and it can absolutely come back to bite you. Plus, it erodes the trust you're trying to rebuild. The person who came forward needs to believe that you're handling this with professionalism and care, not as office gossip. So keep the circle tight. Talk to your HR consultant. Talk to your attorney if you need to. Maybe even bring in a neutral investigator depending on what's involved. But keep it contained and above board. Now, there's also a tendency to go into fix-it mode too fast. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers. We see a fire, we grab a hose. But when a complaint comes in, reacting too fast without fully understanding the issue can actually make it worse. So slow down. Don't just try to make the issue disappear. Ask, what's really going on here? What exactly is this person saying? What are the facts? What's the impact? And maybe most importantly, what are they hoping will change? You see, sometimes the issue isn't what it looks like on the surface. It might sound like they're complaining about one thing, but underneath, it's burnout, or confusion, or favoritism, or maybe they don't trust the process. But if you rush to fix without asking questions, you risk solving the wrong problem. And once you've done your due diligence, once you've taken action, don't forget to follow up. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a leader handle a complaint very well behind the scenes, but never say a word to the employee again. So from that employee's perspective, nothing happened. They took a risk, said something uncomfortable, and then silence. That silence feels like avoidance. It feels like they were ignored. Even if you can't share every detail, you need to close the loop. So let them know you heard them. Let them know you looked into it. And if something changed because of their feedback, say that. That one conversation might be the thing that rebuilds the relationship or reinforces that this is a place where people are taken seriously. And finally, don't treat the complaint as an isolated event. It's pretty easy to check the box, handle that, on to the next fire. But complaints are signals. They point to something deeper in your culture. Maybe it's a communication gap. Maybe it's unclear expectations. Or maybe your systems are too informal and people are making assumptions. So ask yourself, what did I learn from this? What does this tell me about how people experience me as a leader? Are there systems or behaviors that are making it hard for people to speak up or making them feel like they have to? And more importantly, what would prevent this from happening again? Not by shutting it down, but by changing the environment that allowed it to grow. So here's the better approach. Create an environment where complaints are treated like valuable feedback, not attacks. Make sure your people know how to bring things up, whether that's a conversation with their manager, an email to you, or reaching out to your HR consultant. And when they do come forward, show them what it looks like to handle hard conversations with maturity. Listen first. Don't react emotionally. Be honest about what you know and what you're still figuring out. The more you do that, the more you normalize feedback as part of how your business grows. It just becomes something people participate in, not something they fear. And when you handle complaints the right way, you win on multiple fronts. You reduce your legal risk, that's obvious, but more than that, you build real trust, you create stability, and you grow as a leader. You show your team that problems can be addressed, that this business doesn't run on ego, it runs on clarity, respect, and accountability. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.